How's it going? It's Kalumity here, and today we're going to be talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that finally came out. I watched it on Saturday, the day after it released, and I was very pleased with it. I was very happy with it. It looks phenomenal, first of all. This was the movie I was most excited for this year, and I can't just pass it up and not make a video on it because, you know, it's what I was most hyped for. This was like the movie I was waiting for. And it did honestly live up to expectations pretty well. I was a little bit worried going into it just because I was just like, how are they going to do this? Like, how are they going to fit all this storytelling and this lore into this movie? How are they going to do it? Because I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I love the video games. I love the lore behind them. I've been following it since the release of it, the release of the original video game. And I've always loved the idea, the lore, the story, everything that's there. Scott Cawthon, I love the story that he tells. I love the stuff that he does. And going into this movie, I saw, you know, some of the trailers, and I was just like, okay, this could be either really good or really bad. But luckily, it turned out to be a pretty good movie. Like I said at the beginning of this video, the movie looks great. The actual animatronics look amazing. Chica and her cupcake both look phenomenal. And when you see that evil little cupcake running around and attacking people, it's pretty darn good. There's some moments in this that I didn't expect to be as graphic as they were. This is PG-13, but there's a lot of insinuated gore. And there's one scene that was just like, oh wow, they did that in a PG-13 movie. I didn't know they could do that in a PG-13 movie, but they did. But it was really well done. All the action and everything, all of that stuff was really well done. The story itself was, I think, okay. I don't think it was like knock your socks off crazy, but it did what it needed to do. It got you on the path to go to, you know, the pizzeria. It got you on the path to see the animatronics, and it got you on the path to kind of understand why these animatronics are doing what they do. The story itself follows a character named Mike, and you may know who. That may be familiar to you, that name Mike, as he becomes the security guard for the Five Nights at Freddy's. Basically ruins Five Nights at Freddy's, the pizzeria. It's closed down. It's been closed down for years after a bunch of children went missing, and basically the owner is sentimental towards the building, and he just didn't want to give it up ever. So the building's still there, and he needs someone to watch it so no one breaks in and basically breaks the machines that are still there. The animatronics are there. He wants to keep those safe, so he hires Mike on to do the job, and Mike is a heavy sleeper, and he sleeps on the job a lot. But the reason why Mike is sleeping so much is basically because he believes in this theory about basically never forgetting one certain detail of your memory. Basically, everything you see is inside your head, and you will eventually remember everything. So, kind of an interesting idea. He's kind of like reading a book on it at the beginning. And it comes into play because the reason why he's sleeping so much is because he's taking like these sleeping pills. He's going to sleep, and he's basically trying to have the same dream over and over again. And the dream is basically of his little brother being kidnapped, because his little brother was kidnapped. And he's basically trying to figure out who did it, who took his little brother. And he has not been able to escape that moment. He basically has PTSD of that moment, but he's willingly reliving it over and over again just because he, you know, it's eating at him. Who took his little brother all those years ago? And now he's an adult now, but now he also has to, he's still worried about who took his little brother. He still wants closure on that, but he's also in a situation where his mom passed away, his dad left, and he is now watching his little sister and trying to raise his little sister. So he has a lot on his plate already, and then you add this to, you know, the whole PTSD stuff from his little brother disappearing. Yeah, he's got a lot going on. There's a lot of dream sequences in this, and I know a lot of people do not like dream sequences, but honestly, horror movies and dream sequences kind of go together. Let's be real. I thought they actually did a really good job. Some of them were really creepy. There's actually some moments in this that were very paranormal, and I didn't expect them to go in that route, and they gave me goosebumps. They did some really good, they did a really good job on some of these moments. And I did not expect them to go the route that they did. I thought maybe we'd get a little bit of the paranormal stuff, but they went full on into the lore and stuff, and I was just like, oh my goodness, they're actually doing this right. They're going crazy with it. I love it. So I was very happy to see all of that. I'm not going to spoil anything in this video because I don't want to, if you haven't seen it yet, I want you to be surprised as well, because there's a lot of this movie that if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan going into this, you'll want to be surprised at what you see, because there's so much just goodness from the video games in this. There's so many references, and you're going to see a lot of stuff from the games, a lot of lore. You're still going to get a lot of mystery. If there is another movie, which I would love there to be, it would not surprise me. They left it open enough where there could be, and let me tell you, I think that there were some Easter eggs towards the end of the movie to kind of almost give you hints at what direction they would go in if there is another one. So, very interesting stuff there, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I hope they make more, because I really love this movie. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm a fan of the games. I think if you're a fan of the games, you're probably going to be a fan of this. You're probably going to like the movie. It's fun. It is funny. There's lighthearted moments that are really good. There's one moment where Mike goes to pick up his prescription, and the doctor's like, oh yeah, I remember this medicine. He goes, you know what always helped me sleep? And as he's about to explain it, Mike just takes the pills and walks off. And then you just get the guy sitting at the counter, dead face, just going, what an asshole. Like, I didn't expect that from a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I just didn't expect it. And that moment made everyone in the theater crack up laughing because it was just so unexpected. And there's quite a few moments in the theater that made everyone crack up laughing. There's a lot of entertaining moments. There's some cute moments in this too, which is really weird. Some cute moments with the animatronics where you think, oh, this is actually kind of heartwarming. And I didn't expect them to go that way with it. And yeah, that was very surprising. I'm not going to go much further into that, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, are they really going to take this route? They didn't take the route that they that they made it look like they were going to. It turned out to be some stuff involved with manipulation and stuff like that, but at first I was just like, are they really going to make them like friends? Like, what's going on here? But no, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I highly recommend that you watch it if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. If you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you cannot miss this movie. You need to go watch it in theaters and have that experience. I'm going to pick it up when it comes out on 4K for sure. I'm looking forward to that. And also, if you are someone who has not really paid attention to Five Nights at Freddy's and you're not really a fan of the series, but you like horror movies, I'd say that there's probably a 50-50 chance you'll like this. I'm not going to say that you'll like it for sure, but I'll say that there's a 50-50 chance. Everyone that I went with to see it, except for one person, which was my dad, was familiar with the series, and we all liked it. My dad also did like it, but he just didn't give it as high a score as like all of us did. But I gave it an 8 out of 10, and he gave it a 7 out of 10, which for someone that's not even familiar with the series, I still think that's pretty good. But yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's phenomenal. If you go on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it actually is sitting at an 88% from the audience, which is phenomenal. The audience loves this movie, which is great to see. And the critics, of course, are being stuck up little pricks with 26%, because obviously this movie is actually fun. It's enjoyable. They don't like movies that are fun and enjoyable. They like movies that preach at you and talk down to you and try to give you some sort of, social lessons and give you social conditioning and, bunch of propaganda stuff. They don't like movies that are just, even though this is a horror movie, there's a ton of families watching it. This was still like a horror movie that was family fun. This was a family fun movie. It's really weird, but that's what this movie was. And critics don't like that. Critics don't like families. So there we go. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe button down below. And I will talk more about Five Nights at Freddy's in the future. I have some video games that I want to review. I've been wanting to review some of the Help Wanted game. I've been wanting to review that for a long time. And I need to do that. And I also want to talk about I need to talk about really all of them. I need to go through each one, but I need to do the custom nights as well. I want to talk about that one. I want to talk about all of them. That's really what it comes down to. And Pizzeria Simulator, which is my favorite out of all of them. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you next video. You have a wonderful day. Go watch Five Nights at Freddy's. Bye-bye.